This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Something that's always bothered me about this documents case with Donald Trump, I'll drop a little resume information. Someone who had a top secret clearance as a United States Marine for years, it bothers me how lackadaisical people are acting about this particular case. It bothers me also that people think that the first time Donald Trump disclosed or allegedly disclosed highly sensitive national military secrets was that moment in the office with the people writing the book for Mark Meadows. Because if this is what he's doing when he's not president, and he doesn't have the unmatched power of president of the United States, do you think he wasn't doing it when he was president of the United States? Of course. Of course, he was violating norms and putting national security at risk while president. I mean, it was days into his presidency, and he was hosting Sergei Lavrov and the other Sergei goof from Russia in the Oval Office, outing Israeli intelligence assets. Of course he did. And now, another thing that I've talked about is how journalists and book writers, I may disagree with their tactics and how long they sit on information, but for their book release and to enrich themselves, that bothers me. But now we're getting this information from Miles Taylor, the man who was the anonymous op-ed writer who pledged to be gumming up the works of the Trump administration to ensure that the fascistic agenda of Donald Trump didn't quite get accomplished as easily as it was going to without him there. This headline is alarming because now there are White House officials who are fearing that Donald Trump released classified, highly sensitive information to just randos he was being interviewed by in the press. NBC News, this is an exclusive. White House officials worried Trump showed reporters classified material while in office, new book recounts. Former Trump aide Miles Taylor details an episode in which White House staff discussed a 2018 Oval Office incident. Now, there are several things in this article that they are taking from the book to tell the public. I would encourage you, there will be a link in the description to go check this article out. Read the entire thing because I'm not going to read all of it at all. This is the same book from which the excerpt was taken about Donald Trump pontificating on what it would be like to have sex with Ivanka, his daughter. This is a guy who had access. This is a guy who was close to John Kelly, the 4-star former United States Marine general. This is someone who was right there in the room. A forthcoming book by an ex-Trump administration aide describes an episode in which officials worried that then-President Donald Trump was cavalier in his handling of classified information while talking to reporters, according to a copy obtained by NBC News. Miles Taylor, who was a top aide to Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, writes about the 2018 episode in a book set to be published this month. As a sitting president at the time, Trump had broad powers to declassify information. Yet the incident Taylor described suggests that his aides still believed he needed to show more care toward state secrets, an issue that landed him in legal peril after he left office and took sensitive records with him. Trump was still president when the episode Taylor described unfolded on October 18th, 2018. Taylor writes that he was in a private meeting in the West Wing with John Bolton, who you'll remember at the time was Donald Trump's national security advisor. In a meeting with West Wing with John Bolton, who was then, oh, here they say it, Trump's national security advisor. Then White House press secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders came into Bolton's office and described an interview that Trump had given in the Oval Office, according to Taylor's book, Blowback. It's common for the White House press aides to sit in when the president gives interviews. Trump had been talking to the reporters about Jamal Khashoggi, the dissident and journalist who was killed that month by Saudi assassins in Turkey, killed and dismembered at the hands of Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. Sarah Huckabee Sanders told Bolton that the president had picked up classified documents related to intelligence on Khashoggi's death and displayed them, Taylor writes, but that the reporters were unlikely to have been able to read the text. Bolton gasped at first, but breathed a sigh of relief when Sanders told him there had been no cameras in the room, according to the book. Still, quote, we were all disturbed by the lapse in protocol and poor protection of classified information, Taylor writes. There are multiple elements to why this is a problem. One of which that doesn't get talked about often enough is based on what the intelligence is, oftentimes an enemy or just an analyst can determine what the sources and methods are of the collection of that intelligence. It's not just what the information is on its face, it's how was that information gotten? How was it obtained by the litany of intelligence organizations that we have in the United States government? And Donald Trump, being the oafish idiot that he is, who is ego-driven and just no self-confidence, just a weakling mentally, he would rather be a braggadocious clown and show the intelligence, look at me, I have all of this, rather than protect the United States and the security of our country and her people. He'd rather put it at risk for his own ego, for his own insecurity's sake. Now, there's nothing that can be done about this because he was president of the United States at the time. But information like this absolutely needs to be disseminated. It needs to be on the tip of the tongue of everyone out there to know that he's a danger to the United States. He's a danger to our military. He's a danger to our intelligence agencies. He's a danger to our citizenry. And for the party that claims to be rah-rah troops, for the party that claims to be patriots, these fascistic faketriots, you would think that they would jump on board with ensuring that Donald Trump does not have access to this kind of highly sensitive information ever again. I'm not holding my breath for that outcome, because the Republican Party is but a cult. It is but a cult of personality surrounding Donald Trump. Republican politicians are afraid. They are sucking their thumbs in terror under their desks at the proposition that Donald Trump will dispatch the MAGA mob. They're weaklings. Republicans, young and old, Republicans in office and not. They put the well-being of this man, Donald Trump, this ne'er-do-well, Donald Trump, they put his well-being above that of the country, above that of our frontline troops, above that of our intelligence assets out there in the field all across the planet. And I don't understand it. I'd love a voicemail if you do. 714-576-4054. You can leave a comment. You can also email me daily at dollemore.com. If you have not subscribed, if you haven't subscribed, if you're someone who my videos just get delivered to, and you haven't committed to subscribing, which is free, and clicking the bell to make sure you get notified when I upload new content, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I am in a inexplicably lucky position to do what I do and have this many people subscribe to my channel and engage with my content. And it's only because of you. And I appreciate you very much. If you want to help support and produce what I do, you click the join button below, become a channel member. That's not free. You can hit the super thanks button, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I'd love to see you on social media. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. And I will see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.